Hello, my friends, and welcome to this special time together, Wednesday night. I want to thank all of you for clicking on to this time together and sharing religious science in depth with you here on Wednesday night. We are correlating Katrina Anderson's brilliance in putting and editing these lessons together on Wednesday and Sunday, and I celebrate her expertise, and I know you do too. Tonight, let's explore the concept of raising consciousness in a beautiful way. Share some insight that you may not be aware of. In 1947, two of the best books Ernest Holmes ever wrote were This Thing Called You and This Thing Called Life. As a result of writing them, the University of India presented Dr. Holmes with a doctorate of philosophy for writing those two books. If you know anyone that is having a problem with self-appreciation, get them a copy of This Thing Called You. If you're concerned about your future and your unfoldment into it, I would recommend This Thing Called Life. They're companion books, and it's fine, and of course you can get it on Amazon. Ernest Holmes, This Thing Called You, This Thing Called Life. Get them, and you will appreciate it. Now, one of the things that Dr. Holmes wanted our teaching to be was, in 1947, when we became the IARSC at the time, which was the International Association of Religious Science Churches. This was it, but Dr. Holmes really didn't want this to become a church, and you've heard that before. What he did want, and what his priority in hope for the future was that we would develop religious science teaching centers that do Sunday services, not churches that do classes. Now, also, I was very privileged in 1964 when I found this teaching to embody an appreciation for religious science, and also I discovered This Thing Called You and This Thing Called Life. I'm going to give you a quote from This Thing Called You. Dr. Holmes says, "Where God is recognized, there is life. Where the presence of God is realized, there is action. Where the goodness of God is acknowledged, there is peace." What a foundation for an idea of raising consciousness, and to understand that we have the opportunity to find classes, whether it's in religious science, unity, divine science, any class you take is going to turn into a beautiful self-appreciation for doing it. I was very fortunate that my teachers were the best teachers in religious science. Dr. Craig Carter, Dr. Don Bateau, Dr. Reginald Armour, Dr. Edith Clark, Dr. Dan Morgan, Dr. William H.D. Hornaday, Fenwick Holmes, Ernest Holmes' older brother, was my teacher. When I joined Religious Science International, I became colleagues to Raymond Charles Parker, Frank Richelieu, Elizabeth Marshall, so many wonderful people. Dr. Robert Bitzer, who founded religious science, or started religious science with Dr. Holmes, and founded the first center outside of the original Institute of Religious Science as the Hollywood Church of Religious Science. These best teachers were available at that time, and we still have wonderful teachers all over the country, all over Canada, all over the world. Now, the best teachers of religious science teach from the love of the art of religious science. I think that's important to understand. They teach the art of religious science and the love of seeing it bloom in the life of their students. One day I was on La Cienega Boulevard. They were having a peace march. I think this was 1967. Dr. Fenwick Holmes was with me, and as the people were going by singing what we were saying is give peace a chance, he looked up at me and he says, I wonder if these people demanding peace on earth can get along with the person they live with. Well, in order to get along with the person you live with, you need to first get along with yourself. And we know psychologically that most people just surround themselves with people who have the same opinion of what that they have of themselves. That's why one of the best advice I ever received was don't hang out with losers. Now, the wonderful basketball coach Pat Riley said once, the only goal I would like this team to achieve is to become the hardest working team in the league. I don't know if that's going to translate into wins, but that is where you start. That is where you start. Now, he also said challenge is nothing more than the upping of ante. So maybe we are raising the stakes of our consequence of what we are not winning is all about. We're raising the stakes of the consequence of not winning. The awareness. Now, how many made a mistake in your life? Remember, mistakes are okay. I spent a lot of time on the helm of a submarine, as I know airplane pilots do the same thing, and in order to get to where you want and stay on course, you have to constantly get off course, starboard port, and you're constantly moving back and forth. And the challenge is, if you've made mistakes, remember, that's okay. You did the best you knew how to do it. Teachability is the action. Say that in first person. I am unending teachability. One of the great challenges we have in the West is allowing ourselves to be teachable. The more I know, there's more to know. Now, this is the real meaning of the biblical statement, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Now, the meek, dear friends, are the teachable. Dr. Fenwick Holmes, the brother of Ernest Holmes, said the best teacher is one who teaches in such a way that his students can replace him. I'm one of the last of the generation of religious science that's still around and still active. 45 years. We're about to celebrate our 45th anniversary. And my 45th anniversary in one pulpit. It has been a wonderful experience, and I am very proud of the fact of how many teachers I have turned out and how many teachers, some of them are retired now. Some of my wonderful students who became ministers have retired. Good. Now, every good teacher celebrates every student who chooses to be a part of the positive growth experience. That's the quote by Ernest Holmes. Listen to it again. Every good teacher celebrates the student who chooses to be part of this positive growth. Now, we roll away the stone of ignorance and move into the light of self-realization in a very interesting way. We do it when we discover within ourselves the great faculty of affirmative embodiment and then use it wisely. Now, that's an important thing to understand. The idea is not just to find it, but to use it wisely. You see, as we open our eyes to the truth, we know that we are not bound by any of the effects of false concepts we believed in the past. We are not bound by any of the effects of any comfortable nonsense we bought into. When we let go and let God, we let go in the moment we're in, and if we empty our cup and become teachable, we find a new cause within ourselves that will produce a new effect by way of the law of mind. We each have within us the power to learn whatever we need to learn to rise above all negation, even of virus shutdowns. We can move higher than any experience we're moving through and be unmoved by it when we know what and who we are, and move forward in the right way and stand firm in positive faith. And that's what it's all about. It was Abraham Lincoln who said, "I will study and prepare, and someday my chance will come." Well, my friends, what are you rehearsing? You see, worry is rehearsing your problem. And as Dr. Holmes said, if you rehearse it long enough, the curtain will go up. Meister Eckhart, who was the Catholic Bishop of Germany, of himself, at his least, for no one can know God who has not first known himself. Go to the depths of the soul, the secret place of the Most High, to its roots, to the heights of all that God can do. Is focused there. It is focused there. And when you get in focus with that clear understanding within yourself, all of a sudden you begin to realize that the mystic minds of all the age have all known this truth. And the truth is what? We see it in the Judeo-Christian Bible. In Him we live and move and have our being. What? Just in some places? No. We are constantly moving from God, through God, to God. In Him we live and move and have our being. You see, most people are grasping at life like a fish out of water, when all the time, all they need for substance and healthy development is all around them. Is all around them. Who was it? Ralph Waldo Trine, who said, "We are like a fish swimming from the ocean to the ocean to the ocean to the ocean, looking for the ocean." You see, no person, said Gibran, and I love this Gibran quote. Listen to it carefully. Khalil Gibran said, "No man can reveal to you aught but that which already lies half asleep in the dawning of your knowledge." Powerful. By way of intelligent religion. Not park your brains in the car before you walk in the door religion, but intelligent religion. And this is what the New Thought movement is all about. Divine science, religious science, CSL, Unity, Anton, Emerson Institute. They all have the basis of their foundation the same principle. That there's a power within us that acts upon our thinking, our consciousness, and produces an effect. You see, by way of intelligent religion, we can underscore God's gift to itself as us. demonstrate through our creative abilities the greatness beyond anything we've known before. Emerson said, "Learning depends on the learner. No more truth can be conveyed than the popular mind can bear." Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science and the author of the Science of Mind textbook, said in advising his students, the more I know, there is more to know. So, my dear friends, let each and every one of us up our ante and use our intelligence and talents for the glory of God. If there's any time it's needed, it's now. It's you, and it's me, and I love you, and I thank you for sharing this time with me. Let it be your way. Namaste. And now, my friends, time to pass the basket. We're passing the metaphysical basket. We would really appreciate your tithe and gift and offering and love offering to our center. We have been closed now since March without a congregation in front of us, and my communication, we've been treating to reach more people, and it looks like we're doing it by way of this video, but we can't wait till we're back open and have our music and our people and be able to hug and celebrate each other in a very positive way. But until that happens, we're passing the metaphysical basket, and we thank you and love you for your love and support. Our wonderful Katrina, my assistant, who's editing this video for you, will put a message up on how to support what we're doing with love, and it is truly appreciated. Thank you so much. We are blessed, and you are blessed. We bless the giver, the receiver, and know behind the giver and the receiver is God. And so it is. And now let's have a closing treatment. I would like to quote today, because I think it's very appropriate, the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King said, "Take the first step in faith. You do not have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step." I'm going to speak my word now in first person in spiritual mind treatment. Join with me as you close your eyes or leave them open. Doesn't matter. God doesn't care. The power within you knows what to do and how to do it. So let's describe the truth of ourselves by way of this treatment. Not to make something happen, but to let it happen. As we realize our true heritage in this moment. I speak in first person in my continuous awareness of my oneness. With infinite intelligence, I know God in me as me is me. I now realize my heritage, made in the image and likeness of Spirit. I celebrate what I know I am, a mighty moving power of God. I recognize and claim with a grateful heart the magnificent, healthy, loving life that is mine by right of consciousness. My great reality is the quality of the divine expressed by the highest ideas made manifest by way of my life. I wake up to my never-ending spiritual recognition. The beacon light of Spirit as me now floods my experience with the glow of good. My light is shining, and ever more clearly from the heart of God as my heart, my mind, my body, my world. Today, right now, I thrill to the outstanding accomplishments and the dividends of abundant living. I celebrate the purpose and the fulfillment of all my goals. I use the power within me as me in new and wonderful ways. I express more abundance, more success, more health, and happiness than I have ever experienced before. It's good enough to be true and good enough to be now. I know this is good enough to be true, and I thankfully release my word to law, to the great law of mind that knows what to do, how to do it, and is doing it now. And so it is. Have a beautiful day today, my friends. Wash your hands, wear your mask, be safe. Let's get this virus behind us and a whole new experience ahead of us, filled with wonder and beauty and you and me in love. And so it is. Let it be your way. Namaste.